Hatred and political violence are dramatically becoming a reality again, bringing many unresolved issues to the surface. He would simply sit in public and allow anyone to challenge him in a debate on any topic. I say this also because in recent days I have read many inhumane comments about the death of Charlie Kirk, and I have read others that were truly frightening. An intellectual from the left who said, shooting Martin Luther King and shooting a MAGA representative are not the same thing. Does it mean that we should imagine lighter sentences for those who shoot a right-wing figure? Perhaps considering as a mitigating factor the fact that their ideas are unacceptable. Look, I believe it's time to hold the Italian left accountable for this constant downplaying or even this ongoing justification of the criminalization and violence against those who don't think like them. Hatred and political violence are dramatically becoming a reality again, bringing many unresolved issues to the surface. I come from a political community that has often been unjustly accused of spreading hatred, which has been accused, imagine that, by the very same people who today remain silent, downplay, or even justify or celebrate the premeditated, intentional, cold-blooded murder of a 31-year-old young man whose only fault was courageously defending his beliefs. He would simply sit in public and allow anyone to challenge him in a debate on any topic, because he was convinced of his ideas. He did it with a smile on his face, he did it with respect, and that was frightening. That's why, because when you have no arguments, you fear those who do. I've seen it happen many times. For those who have no arguments, the only weapons left are criminalization, insult, making the opponent seem unacceptable, and violence, which always starts as verbal violence, but sometimes even becomes physical violence. I say this also because in recent days I have read many inhumane comments about the death of Charlie Kirk, and I have read others that were truly frightening. One of these is by Pier Giorgio Di Freddi, an intellectual from the left who said, shooting Martin Luther King and shooting a MAGA representative are not the same thing. Now, I would like to ask this distinguished professor exactly what he means. Does he mean that there are people it is legitimate to shoot because of their ideas? Or that it is somehow less serious to shoot them simply because we do not share their ideas? Or that it's somehow understandable to feel like shooting someone because of their ideas? Does it mean that we should imagine lighter sentences for those who shoot a right-wing figure? Perhaps considering as a mitigating factor the fact that their ideas are unacceptable. Look, I believe it's time to hold the Italian left accountable for this constant downplaying or even this ongoing justification of the criminalization and violence against those who don't think like them, because the atmosphere, even here in Italy, is becoming unbearable. And it's time to call it out. And it's time to clearly say that these ideas are unacceptable. They are dangerous, irresponsible, and completely opposed to any form of democracy.
We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits. I know there has been speculation as well as to the writing on those casings, those bullet casings, and I believe we have that as well. And I will share that with you now. So the area north of Campus Drive Road where the suspect crossed over, you saw some of that in the video that we released last night, consists of a grassy area with trees on the edge of the UVU campus. Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark-colored towel. The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices, bulges, capital OWO, what's this?" ? Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist!" ! Catch! ! Up arrow symbol, right arrow and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow," and a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO." We are indebted to law enforcement across the state who has worked seamlessly together, local law enforcement, state law enforcement, and our federal partners with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We're grateful for everyone who worked together in such a short amount of time to find this person and to bring justice. I want to thank the public who has been so engaged, reviewing videos, helping us with sending in tips, and helping us get to this point. I want to thank the family members of Tyler Robinson who did the right thing in this case and were able to bring him into to law enforcement as well. I especially want to thank the family of Charlie Kirk, Erica, Charlie's parents, his children. I want us to be thinking of them as we bring justice in this case. They will be involved in that justice. We will be working very closely with them as we move through this process as well. This is a very sad day for our country, a terrible day for the state of Utah. But I'm grateful that at this moment we have an opportunity to bring closure to this very dark chapter in our nation's history.